In this video, we're going over the economy class of British Airways. High expectations, low results. We'll also go over why I booked it, how I booked it with Avios, which is their miles program, the economy experience, having to make my own in-flight entertainment, and how to get compensation from British Airways if they give you a bad experience. Let's get started. Initially, I wasn't going to fly British Airways. I had to go from Bangkok to Munich. I had a flight with Thai Airways. I already paid money for that flight, but I missed it. Anytime there's a flight around midnight, you really have to be sure what day you're leaving. I've messed up twice in the past, but I got to the airport 24 hours early, so that was not as big of a deal as missing a flight. You pay a lot of money, and there's nothing you could do. What I did try to do was I tried calling Thai Airways, told them the situation. They looked at my booking reference number and said I booked the lowest class, which means there's no options to cancel or get any type of refund. There is an option to reschedule at an additional cost of $100, but they can only book me in the same booking class for future flights, which was not going to be the next day. It was like 5 weeks out. I was like, no, I gotta leave today, tomorrow, the next day at the latest. With my Thai Airways flight being a complete loss of $386, I had to find another option. I looked on Google Flights, I looked for cash rates. Nothing was less than $500 last minute, and none of it direct. Anytime you have a long layover, you're gonna incur additional costs as far as food or accommodations. So I wanted to find something fast from Thailand to Germany. I spend the next 2 hours looking through all the mileage programs, looking for what's available and what has the lowest rates. Eventually I come to Avios, which did have the lowest rate, but the highest taxes, of course. To get from Bangkok to Munich, it cost me 23,500 Avios and $209, which isn't too bad, at least it was in the off-peak times. But with British Airways, when you look at their website, they make economy look like it's going to be really nice, but there's no guarantee it's going to be that nice. Yeah, they won't even show you the old planes, the old seats, and what you're going to get. This is probably the 5th time I've flown with British Airways, and I've had better experiences on some of their smaller intra-Europe flights. I flew them before with business class from LA to London on a mistake fare, which was awesome. Except for the flight. It's just, their business class is pretty bad. I actually don't like flying British Airways. Whenever I have the chance, I prefer flying any of the Middle Eastern carriers or Asian carriers. They have a higher standard of quality, food, and service. It's pretty generic to say that, but in my experience, that has been the case. And if you've ever flown with ANA or JAL, you know what I'm talking about. After making my booking, it was almost 3 a.m. and I had to get to sleep because I was flying out in the next 8 hours and I did not want to miss that flight. Bangkok Airport, check in for my flight. Here's another awesome airline tip. If you get to the airport and you're checking in early, I asked for a window seat with an empty seat next to me if available. They said they'll look, and yes, it was. That makes long-haul flights very tolerable. If you have Priority Pass, Bangkok Airport is amazing. They have a ton of Priority Pass lounges, which makes it really easy to relax and have free food and drinks. On the plane. This is an old plane. This is nothing like the pictures they show on the British Airways website. I found it very difficult to find out what type of experience you're gonna get because on the British Airways website, they will not tell you if you're flying on an older plane or a newer plane. They're not gonna make that clear because they want to make sure you just book the flight. The seat was really worn out. You can tell by the cushions. I found that I was moving a lot in the seat trying to adjust to a more comfortable position. Having that empty seat next to me was very helpful though. Flight attendants were very friendly and they had a very good attitude, which made the experience very pleasant. Unfortunately, as far as the food quality, it wasn't that great. When people make fun of airline food, and how bad it is, that's what you get. That's the exact food you're thinking of, that's what they served. On the flight, the in-flight entertainment did not work. It was down for most of the flight. It's a 12-hour flight from Bangkok to London, and it was down for the first 6 hours and then intermittently throughout the rest of the flight. Due to this issue, I had to innovate. If you have Netflix, you should know that there's a offline mode where you can download videos in advance and watch them later. With my phone case, and napkin, I made a phone holder. When the in-flight entertainment was working, the screen was very low quality because they use older technology. It's a touchscreen, but it's one of those really old touchscreens where you have to press really hard for it to work. They also have a remote. Pro tip, always use the remote. It's very rude to push the buttons really hard because that moves the seat in front of you. The person behind me was doing that a little bit. I kind of just took it. It wasn't bad enough where I had to turn around like, hey, please use the remote, because that's annoying the heck out of me. But it's all good. Because with the in-flight entertainment broken, I remembered to ask for compensation. Asking for compensation was really easy. All I had to do was, at the end of my flight, go to the British Airways website, go to the complaints section, and describe what happened. After submitting my formal complaint, 16 minutes later, they awarded me compensation. For this inconvenience, they gave me a 10,000 Avios compensation to my account. And that's it for my British Airways economy review. I hope you learned a few things, and subscribe for more tips, tricks, travel hacks,